Hello, everybody. We'll talk about the enterprise risk management consideration for portfolio, program, and project risk management. So, yes, this is what we will be talking in today's video. So, enterprise risk management, what exactly it is all about? It E stands for enterprise, R for risk, M for management. So every enterprise has a goal. Every organization is there in existence for an objective in mind. What are my risks? Risks are my outcomes of an event. The outcomes, if it goes against us, is the risk. Events or outcomes which is as per our design is not a risk at all. In fact, that is an ideal situation that we would love to have every time and again. Management is the action to ensure that the risk is being minimized, or in fact, risk is completely avoided, or in fact, the goal has been reached on time, within scope, within quality, and under budget. That is what ERM is all about. Is so enterprise, organization, company, institution, business set. Risk is the danger, losses, and obstacles. Management is how to get rid of those losses, dangers, and obstacle handling, getting what you want. Practical solution to the given circumstances, avoiding a collapse per se. So definition of ERM, enterprise risk management is a process. Remember that. It is affected by an entity's board of directors, management and other personnel. Enterprise risk management is applied in strategy setting across the enterprise. Enterprise risk management is designed to identify potential events that may affect the entity. Enterprise risk management is to identify the potential events that that can have a risk appetite and can be managed out across it. It is all about providing a reasonable assurances regarding the achievements of an entity's objective. COSO, COSO, Committee of Sponsoring Organization of the Treadway Commission defines ERM. The enterprise resource management, remember ERM is an ongoing process. ERM is an integral part of how an organization operates. Enterprise resource management applies to all organizations, not just financial one. Risk management, broadly to all things threatening and the achievement of the organizational objective. Risk is not limited to threats, but is also refers to the opportunities. Remember, opportunities you need to capitalize. The goals of an organization is not to minimize risk, but also to seek appropriate risk return position per se. So yes, enterprise, entity objectives. Entities objectives under four categories: the strategic, operation, reporting, and compliance. I repeat, strategic, operation, reporting, and compliance. Under strategic is high level goals is aligned with and supporting its mission. Operation is effective and efficient use of its resources. Reporting is reliability of the reportings. Compliance with the applicable laws and regulation, if I may say so. There are eight components. If we look into it, the eight component of ERM, Enterprise Resource Management, is all about strategic operations, reporting, and compliance. Remember, in internal environment, we are talking about objective settings, event identification, risk assessment, risk response, control activities, information and communication, and monitoring. But what about the other business unit, the subsidiary business unit, the division, the entity levels, and so on and so forth at functional levels? What we are looking into it. So the eight components, I repeat, of the our internal environment: objective setting, event identification, risk assessment, risk response, control activities, information and communication, monitoring, as the case might be. The scope of it, ERM, aligning risk appetite and strategies, enhancing risk response decision, reducing operational surprises and losses, managing multiple and cross enterprise risk, grabbing opportunities, improving deployment of capital as the case might be. We are talking about objectives. Objectives of ERM: improve risk based decision making, more effective use of capital, comply with the regulatory changes, improve shareholders' value, anticipating problems before they actually become a big threat. Coordinating various risk management activities is what we all strive to achieve for it. Yes, this is what the objectives of ERM is all about it. Being more effective, being more forceful, thus limiting our losses, enhancing our profit. That is what we are looking into it. Essentially speaking, improving the shareholders' value. Allow me to give you a brief history about the ERM, the Enterprise Resource Management, way back in 1974, approximately 50 years back from today. Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, 1988, Basel Capital Accord setting forth a new framework of minimum risk-based capital requirement. 1985, the year it was COSO was formed, an independent commission to undertake private sector study of factors that caused fraudulent financial reporting. Spring back to 1992, we are talking about following a series of high-profile corporate frauds and accounting scandals. The LSE, the London Stock Exchange, introduced new regulation covering various aspects of the corporate governance. 1995, 30 years from today, is approximately the development of the national standards on risk management began with Australia, New Zealand risk similar standards in Canada, the Day Report 1997, and Japan and in UK in 2000. 1996, NAIC, National Association for Insurance Commission, in the United States introduced risk-based capital requirement for insurance company. 2002, this century itself, a string of corporate accounting scandal was profound implications in the US and the worldwide and led to the passage of Sarbanes-Oxley Act. 2004, COSO, COSO, Enterprise Risk Management Integrated Framework came into place. 2009, approximately 15 years from today, it was ISO 31000 risk management standard was established upon it, and 2010, COSO strengthening enterprising resource management for strategic advantages. Let us look into the risk management process. Remember, we were talking about the risk architecture, risk strategy, and risk protocol, the three pinnacles of risk management process. Under risk architecture, the risk architecture specifies the role, the responsibility, the communication, and the risk reporting structure, whereas the risk strategy is all about the appetite, attitude, and philosophy are defined in the risk management policy. Risk protocol are presented in the form of risk guidelines for the organization and includes the rules and procedures as well as specifying the risk management methodology, tools and technique that should be used thereby. We have to have the mandate, we have to have the commitment of designing the framework. The mandate, the commitment has to come right from the top of designing the framework for on which the organization and its context has to be based upon. The risk management policy, the embedded risk management. We need to implement the risk management theories and into practices, implement them, implement the risk management process and see what happens, monitor them, continuously evaluate what is happening, and if possible, try and improve upon it. Then again, go back to the risk management. Remember, there is a top management that has to be fully committed and given you a free willpower as for the mandate of executing risk management strategies. The risk versus opportunity. Risk is a possibility that an event will occur and adversely affect the achievement of the objective. Opportunity is a possibility that an event will occur and positively, I am saying positively affect the achievement of an organization objective, and therefore creation of the value happens around here. Look, what are the types of risk? We have the board of directors as in the top management. The external pressures are all about the regulators, might be the federal government, the provincial government, the shareholders, the trading community, the partners, and the customers. The risk. This is what the top management would be doing under the pressure which has been given, is to mitigate the risk in the market. Inherent risk, static risk, credit risk, systematic risk. Last but not the least would be the residual risk, risk which you might have overlooked, risks which might nevertheless be lurking around the corner. Development and enterprise risk management. Understanding risk is absolutely not new at all. There has always been inherent understanding of the risk. Let's say the example being health and safety risk. Risk management concept has been around in investment, around in banking, around in insurance and artificial intelligence and public policy processes thereby. Traditional risk management versus ERM, enterprise resource risk management. Traditional risk management is much more related to financial and hazard risk. That is transferable risk, remember. Traditional risk management requires much more of an accounting type of skills, but that is not the case with the enterprise risk management, what I call as a smart risk management. ERM is stresses the management of operational and strategic risks. ERM requires skill in strategic planning, processes, re-engineering, and marketing thereof. The risk management and the business continuity. Risk management is simply a practice of systematically selecting cost effective approaches for minimizing the effect of threat realizations to the organization. BCP, the business continuity planning, is a methodology used to create a plan for how an organization will resume partially or even completely interrupted critical function within a predetermined time after a disaster or a disruption. Example of an ERM organization, the vice president or the chief risk officer would be at the helm of the affairs, whereas the insurance risk manager, the ERM director, and the corporate credit would be actually reporting to the vice president thereof. Under the enterprise risk director would be the ERM manager. The ERM managers will be manning the day-to-day skills, risk of each individual unit, be it the business unit, functional unit, and that is what they will be manning the position thereby. Challenges are plentiful. Data availability is a challenge. Data warehouse mining is a challenge. Building up a process and a system. People are resistant to new processes, new system. This is a challenge. Developing human resources to live up to the new skills that they have to exhibit. Strengthening the skills, model validation requires greater collaboration with the regulator. Cost, investment in the risk analytics and risk technology, getting management buy-in, stress testing, scenario analysis, building capacities or capabilities as the case might be, balancing the hard and the soft side of the risk management. The hard side is to measure and report. The hard side is to risk oversight committees, policies and procedures, risk assessment, risk limit, audit process and system. The soft side, on the other hand, is the risk awareness, people skills, integrity, incentives, cultures, values, trust and communication. If you have looked into it, the hard side there have been completely smart metrics can be built around it, but not much of a possibility is there in the soft side. What will you do about people, skills, integrity, and incentive thereby? Implementation of ERM. The basic elements of an effective enterprise risk management program are senior management and board level commitment, risk management policies and procedures established in writing for the most prominent risk with the specific objectives and target. Clearly defined responsibilities for managing and controlling risk. Ongoing employee training is absolute must. Testing and monitoring of all programs, of all procedures, regular report, including independent audit prepared for review by senior management and the board directors, thereby limitation of ERM. The inherent limitation includes the realities that the human judgment in decision making can be faulty. Now, about the various authorities, what kind of role do they play? The role of boards. Board provide insights to the management, understand the key elements of ERA, inquires the management about the risk, concur with certain management decision thereby. Role of risk committee, participate in risk strategy analysis, develop and refine the risk appetite or probably the risk tolerance if you may be seeing so. Evaluate material risk exposure, oversees the role and responsibility of the internal auditor. Review semi-annual and annual consolidation report. Responsibility of ERM is management, the board of directors, the risk officers, the internal auditors as the case might be. Provide direction to the senior manager, setting broad based policies reflecting upon the entity's risk management philosophy and risk appetite. Role of chief risk officers, establishing corporate wide risk limit, establishing risk management standard, review and approve policy exceptions as the case might be. Now, the role of management, comply with the risk management policy, apply ERM techniques and methodology, ensure that the risks are managed on a daily basis, provide unit leadership with complete and accurate reports if per se. The role of internal auditors, support management by providing assurances on the ERM process function, effectiveness and efficiencies, risk responses, and control activities, completeness and accuracy of enterprise risk management reporting. Why? Why I repeat is ERM important? Because it identifies obstacles to achieving business objectives. Because it allows management to make, in fact, evaluate decisions on a well-informed, risk-adjusted basis. Determined accountability, ownership at all key levels, enable definitions of realistic tolerance and measure of risk to support reasonable budget for risk as an expected loss and allocation of capital as an unexpected loss thereby. So why is ERM important? It is important because it increases the risk and control awareness of all employees at every level, proactively identifying potentially difficulties, business continuity and disaster preparedness in post 9/11 world, regulatory compliances, globalization in a continuously competitive environment, if I say so. ERM will become the standards. This is what is we are looking into the future, peek into the future. The chief risk officer will be visible figure in a risk sensitive bank. Audit committees will evolve into risk committees. Emergence of economic capital is the real future that goes around here. Remember, future is all about risk transference. Transfers, risk transfer executed at an enterprise level. Technology will play a pivotal role in advancement. Measurement standards will emerge for operational risk. Risk-based economic reporting will become a standard in due courses of time to come. With this, I come to an end of this video. Thank you for watching it till the end.